Hi guys, today is June 11th, 2020, and futures are pointing down, actually significantly down after weekly jobless claims reports that came in actually better than expected. But the second wave of the virus that the states are reporting after the opening, multiple openings at different states, pressuring actually Wall Street this morning. And actually, I thought that it was due because we were very overbought overall, and RSI on S&P 500 was sitting at like 75, 76. So a lot of silly money were coming in. At that point, and I thought that we were about to fall. And I told you like last time, I had a video on Monday, I think, that I would be very, very careful to buy stocks at that point. Okay, so let's jump to SPY, ETF for S&P 500, and SPY is actually trading lower. Actually, it's going to open lower, and will go down. And I expect this to go down. Could go down all the way to 300, and right now pre-market is trading at 310. So I would be very careful again to buy stocks, but could be some opportunities created by this sell-off. And actually, I wanted to talk about I saw the report on Robintrack that tracks Robinhood buys in the last couple of days, and guys, a lot of people are buying silly stocks, and those stocks. Like, for example, HTZ, that's filed for bankruptcy on May 22nd, and TOPS, it's a Greek oil tanker company that's a penny stock. It's a terrible company as well. And HTZ is supposed to be zero, but it was trading like at $5-6, and right now it's opening lower. And the same thing for TOPS, TOPS. I mean, it's a penny stock trading at 16 cents. Oasis, it's a gas and petroleum, Oasis Petroleum Company. It's also like a penny stock, and it's a terrible oil and gas producer. And another one is IVR, Invesco Mortgage, and this company actually had margin calls back in March, and actually the book value for this company is under $2. So I would be very careful to buy this, even though it's cheap. All these companies are very bad companies, and LK, I mean, you can pretty much go down the list, and all these companies that are cheap are very attractive to inexperienced investors. But to tell you the truth, I mean, this is just a recipe to lose money, because you buy into these companies like LK, like HTZ. LK was shut down for 1.5 months and received a notice from NASDAQ for delisting. And I mean, we will have a hearing about that, but and it was shut down for a reason, because of the fraud charges. And so I would be very careful with these stocks: LK, HTZ, Oasis, Invesco Mortgage. All these stocks are like cheap, but this is fool's gold, let me tell you. Okay, so let's jump to real stocks. And by the way, if you want to see my trades on pretty much everyday basis, you can check out the Patreon link in the description of this video. Okay, so let's jump to real stocks, like for example Tesla. And Tesla is also down this morning, and it was trading at all-time high yesterday. And after the analyst, another analyst upgraded it, a Wedbush analyst, with a price target of $1,000 and bullish case scenario of $1,500. And also Musk sends a memo that it's time for Tesla semis. So Tesla was trading higher, and I told you that it has a pretty good technical setup. I drew this double bottom points, and I drew this line here that I was expecting Tesla to go higher. But right now, I mean, it's sitting at the 76 RSI. I think it's going to correct a little bit under $1,000, but I think it's a pretty good opportunity. If it drops down to like mid 900s, it's a pretty good opportunity to get into Tesla, because I think this stock is set to go higher anyway. Okay, so speaking of Tesla, speaking of electric car manufacturers, Nikola. Okay, so Nikola yesterday got got a bad day actually, but a pretty good week considering that on Monday it was up 103%, and the next day it was up another 27% at the open, and but again. Very popular among the Robinhood investors, but the valuation for this company is insane. Actually, it's pretty high. But a lot of people were telling me maybe it's a fraud, it's this and that. They didn't produce a single vehicle. I mean, I'm doing a research piece right now on this company, and it will come out. I will have a video on it probably tomorrow night. And I will talk about Nikola, but in general, it's not a fraud to me, and it has some real values. It has a lot of patents, and has a lot of truck prototypes, the working prototypes, and now it has cash. And but in general, it's trading too high. I mean, even at like $56 is opening right now, it's a bit too high, but it's not that high as it was before. Like when it was opening at $93, it was insane. I mean, $93 is just crazy. Okay, but I think it's in like low 40s. I think it's a decent stock to own, in my opinion, Nikola. Okay, and also on a separate note, they said that they talked to different partners to produce this Badger electric pickup truck, and they also presented at an investor conference where CEO Mark Russell explained company's business. So, like I said, I mean, it's too high for me to get in right now, but in like a 40 plus area, I think it would be a decent pickup for Nikola. Okay, staying with the car theme, Vroom. Okay, so Vroom, it's an online car seller that went public a couple of days ago, and since then shares more than doubled. But again, in my opinion, it's way too high, and needs to come down at least to like mid 30s. So VRM, I mean, I'm watching these shares, but it's a no buy for me because they need to come down before I touch them. Okay, five below. Reported quarterly loss of 91 cents per share versus 33 cents expected, but also said that 90% of its stores reopened and said that they are pleased with the initial sales trends. So, I mean, like other stocks, it's going to drop this morning, but in general, closer to $100. I think it's a pretty good buy for FIVE, FIVE. Okay, so MGM Resorts. They said that they will reopen more Las Vegas casinos following strong performances for Bellagio, MGM Grand, and New York. And in general, I mean, I think MGM is going to drop today, and at around like closer to $15. I think it's a pretty good setup for to buy MGM, in my opinion. Okay, and other casino stocks are LVS, Las Vegas Sands. Actually, I like Las Vegas Sands closer to maybe under $50. That's not bad buy, in my opinion. Closer to maybe, I mean, it's opening at like 48. Maybe if it gets to like 45, 46 area, that's not a bad buy. Okay, Wynn Resorts, and Wynn is opening lower as well as other stocks, and $88, closer to $80. That's not a bad pickup, also, in my opinion. Okay, it's an online crafts retailer. It was upgraded to buy from Holt at Jeffries, who cited that home nesting dynamics and repeat purchases of face masks driving traffic. Okay, so it's pretty good setup for Etsy, actually, in my opinion, because it's going to open lower, but I think it's going to be a pretty good setup for me to buy this. Okay, SPG. So yesterday, SPG announced that it was terminating a deal with Taubman Properties, and this morning it was downgraded to market perform from outperform by Raymond James. And so in general, I think I drew this this line here. It's a very strong support line around $72 for SPG. So if it breaks the support line, it's going to go lower. But if it doesn't, I think it's a pretty good pickup in this area, like $72 area for SPG is a very interesting pickup to me. Okay, so Apple. Okay, so Apple maintained that overweight by Wells Fargo. Price target raised to $385. I think it's insanely high trading for Apple. I mean, Apple is trading right now at RSI at 80. So this definitely needs to drop. I mean, if you're planning to establish a new position, I wouldn't do it. I mean, it's trading very high in my opinion, and I think it should come down to at least like to 340, 330 area for me to be interested in Apple again. Okay, RRGB. Okay, Red Robin Gourmet Burgers. That's an interesting company actually, and they're opening lower. It's a restaurant chain that's lost $6.66 per share versus $1.10 estimate. Revenue below. Comparable restaurant sales fell 20.8%, but the company said that trends have been improving lately, and that sets up a pretty good technical opportunity. I mean, technical setup for shares to go higher. I mean, it's going to open lower, and maybe like around under $13 could be a good pickup. RRGB. Okay, so AMC report said that it would reopen theaters globally in July with limited capacity, and certain seats will be blocked to maintain safety. I mean, I'm not very optimistic about AMC, to tell the truth, and I mean, if they have to block seats for safety, I mean, that's gonna actually limit their revenue stream, and in general, I mean. Technically, it doesn't look bad, but fundamentally, I would be very careful with this company. AMC, I don't know. I'm not a buyer. Okay, so the next company that I like is Moderna. Okay, so Moderna had a bad couple of days, last week, but it's been recovering lately, and I think it's a pretty good setup to go higher actually. And they also said that they expect to start the late stage trial of its vaccine in July, and that will include 30,000 participants actually. So Moderna, in my opinion, is a pretty good pickup. Also, like in this space, Pharmaceuticals, it's trading lower, but I think it's also presenting a pretty good setup. And Vir Biotechnology is also trading lower and could be picked up. I mean, closer to low 30s or $30 would be ideal, but even in this area, it's not a bad pickup in my opinion. Okay, so Target announced a 3% dividend hike and quarterly payout of 68 cents, and actually pretty good setup for Target to go higher. I mean, it's opening lower, and could be a good opportunity to get into the stock. And I also like Beyond Meat on a pullback. Okay, BYND. They announced the expansion of its manufacturing in Europe, and they said that they acquired a new factory in Netherlands. So that's a pretty good company in my opinion. I mean, if it drops to like mid 140s, I think it's a good chance to buy this company. And technically, it looks pretty good. 50-day moving average crossed the 200-day moving average right here. It's called the Golden Cross, and Magda crossing here. I think it's a pretty good setup to buy this company. Okay, that's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and I'll see you tomorrow for a Nikola movie, and Monday for a regular update on the stock market.